You're listening to Podhaven.
Last time, on the Haven. An excitable gnome in garish robes that seem to change colour as you look at them stands in front of them, eyeing the five of you, credulously for a moment, and kind of blinks. Oh, damn it, I'm too early, aren't I? The gnome gives one final, sheepish wave, then steps through the portal, which then promptly disappears.
I don't want anything to do with this timey-wimey bullshit. I'm heading back.
A fast-moving coach kind of plows through and splashes mud up all over you. But as one of them, as the dwarf, as they attempt to capture the dwarf and put him in irons, he manages to break free. He's like, please, you've got to help me. I've been framed. I didn't do it. Find Morag out on the edge of town. She'll vouch for me. Please help. As you approach the cottage, though, you do notice something is amiss. The door is hanging off its hinges and the lock is broken.
Gharyl Polyp, she's a kenku, which is a bird friend. They can only mimic other sounds, so she kills people if she likes their words enough. So
yeah, Pry, you stumble into this scenario. You see Gharial at one end of the room, with a dagger dripping with blood and over the body of like a stocky bearded man, and in the corner a halfling woman clearly just coming down from a moment of sheer panic. Martyn and I are partners in business. And our business sometimes means we work with some dangerous customers. That they sent some fucking mercenary after me. I want to get them off my back, and I can't leave Martyn hanging like that. I have to help him, which means I've got to find proof that we didn't do it and make it worth your while. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but we're doing pretty well business-wise. I can pay you well.
That sounds good. I'm pretty broke.
As you approach the edge of the woods, in the distance you see a little encampment, a series of tents, and what looks like the coach that passed you.
I'd like to make a play here. I start making a baby crying sound and curl up into a ball.
The two guards are approaching Gharial. One of them kind of reaches his sword out and kind of goes to lift the hood that Gharial's using to cover her face.
The moment that I feel any kind of touch, I am going to spring up for a sneak attack.
So you rolled 11 points of damage. You managed to find a gap in his armor and slide your dagger right between his ribs. So yeah, he yells in surprise, "Oh God, you're not a baby!" He looks up at you in surprise for a second and just falls back in bed.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
There was one clap that was wildly out from the rest of them, though.
Yeah, that was me. Because honestly, I'm finding this really confusing, the way we're clapping. Like... Okay.
Alright. Hello, all, everyone. Welcome to The Haven, an Indie Haven actual play D&D 5th edition podcast. There's a lot of elements of that name. I'm Martyn Bryson. I'm the GM and host, and we have our various players here. I will call out your characters' names as I do so. Introduce yourselves with your real names. We have as the hobgoblin artificer Crebbs Daintley, played by
Martyn Docherty. I sound a bit like this when I'm talking in character.
We have the out of her depth. Oh God, what class are you again, Eistla?
Warlock, jeez. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, Warlock, yeah.
It's the other charisma caster.
Yeah, the other, not the other one. The other one that's not the
Excellent.
other one. Yeah. So we have the out of her depth with a lot of dark history there. Eistla Brennan, played by...
Hello, it's me, I'm Hellen.
We have the bizarre and quite interesting character of... I'm not even really sure I can remember what everyone is supposed to be. Ah yes, Kenku Rogue, Gharyl Polyp, played by...
Why did you choose me next? I'm eating a bit of chocolate.
I'll circle back around to you then.
That's fine. I'm Elodie Cunningham. I'm eating a bit of chocolate. My character's a bird.
How do you forget this character is a kink?
I always forget the names of the races.
You know, when you get sense really early on, it's going to be a really difficult edit.
We have the human paladin, the brave but naive human paladin, Graeyam Xioto. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I'm Heath Wong.
Yeah, there we go, Heath Wong. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
How dare you?
I'm really unforgivable.
I quit.
Well, we had a good run. And we have the illustrious monk wood elf by the name of Mimosa Quinwynn, played by
Emilia Wennqvist. Don't at me because you don't know to at me, so you can't.
And of course, last but not least, we have the charismatic and adventurous orc bard Pry Shergell, played by
Gharyl Ciepielewski. Yeah.
Oh, it's not like we didn't have enough prep time, people.
Bloody hell.
Can we resolve this debacle on the map right here? People are going to die.
Yeah, well, where we left you all, Gharial got into some trouble, fell down a cliff face, pretended to be a baby, and promptly proved they were not a baby.
Not just a baby.
Sorry, a mother and a baby.
Yes, thank you. You undersell my talents of mimicry.
Yeah, it was incredible. You rolled extremely well on that too.
Yeah, after rolling extremely badly, my first ever D&D roll ever in my life was that one that sent me down the cliff.
Yep. So you rolled very badly for once and then rolled very well the next two times, and really that's what counts. Gharial was left in a difficult situation when they fell down the cliff face, rolled into the camp, and were promptly pretended to be a despairing mother and child. When one of the guards got a little too curious, Gharial punished them for that and killed him immediately with a knife to the heart. And that's where we left everyone off. Now, I think it's safe to say combat is officially on. So, for those of you who don't know how to do this, you just go to your character sheet, highlight your token on the map, and then click the initiative button. It will automatically add you to the turn order. And we can go from there. Yep, turn order. Top of the turn order is the large barbarian bodyguard, who right now does not know about the three of you in the south there, so he's going to start moving towards the sound of chaos and investigate what's going on. Just going to move past the fire,
I was screaming about babies very loudly a second ago, so...
That would interest the barbarian, yes.
He heard the yelling, moved towards it, and then upon seeing the carnage, is like, what the hell? Okay, next to the turner is... One of the guards, again, hearing the chaos, is starting moving towards the sound of it all. This means that all the soldiers and guards are essentially moving away from your position for the three of you in the south there. Mimosa, you are up.
So, yeah, I'm gonna use my movement action to move to the tent, because I can do it, and then, what's the situation here?
Okay, you look inside the kind of the mouth of the tent, the long, kind of elongated mouth of the tent. It's been kind of tied shut with some thick rope. You should be able to easily pull it apart. You think it's mostly just for keeping out the weather than for any kind of security. Okay. Between the cracks in the center parting of the tent, you can see some light flickering from the inside.
Right. What kind of action is it to undo the...
Oh, that would it would depend. If you try to do it and it proves easy, then it's a free action to simply just whip open the door. If it proves to be a challenge, it may be more difficult. But by looking at it, it looks like it would be fairly easy.
Okay, well, I'm gonna undo the knot.
Yeah. Oh. So you pull the rope out, you whip open the inside. You see the opening kind of entryway of the tent. It's a little fancier than you expected. You see velvet drapes hanging from the sides of it, which seem a little over the top for such a small tent, for such a kind of a kind of strange situation to find that in. A little over the top for an environment like this, but you know, someone like you, I imagine you appreciate that effort. Thick velvet drapes.
It's a good effort.
Yeah. There's a floor of polished wooden slats extending about 10 feet into the inside of the tent, which is also closed with another rope-tied flap.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna use my action to dash, so I can move inside.
Okay. Yeah, you're just gonna charge your way into the tent?
Yep.
Okay. Inside the tent, you see two people. An elven man and a human woman, both about their middle ages, at least for their relative species. Adults, kind of well into adulthood. They're both kind of standing there looking confused at the sound of the chaos outside, and more importantly, about the strange person who just entered their tent. One of them looks very finely dressed. The elven man looks very, very well dressed. Expensive silk tunic, very expensive looking fashionable pants, and very nice, fine, soft leather shoes. The woman, on the other hand, looks more rugged. She's wearing traveling gear, thick, kind of thick leather with chainmail over the top, and but nonetheless, her equipment looks expensive. She is trained for combat and traveling, obviously, but she's very well equipped. Not the kind of person who is your average adventurer. She is, however, right now completely unarmed. So who the hell are you? What are you doing? Get out of my tent! Callum!
Mimosa performs like a highly refined. I think there's even in COS there's a specific kind of curtsy. There's a specific way you do it that shows your refinement and high class.
Okay, so to clarify, you've come charging in at full pelt, stopped suddenly, and tried to do a curtsy.
Well, I mean...
Or if you tried to do it in motion, which is even funnier.
I mean, Mimosa would.
I mean, to be fair though, there was, a closed off thing between...
Yeah, but we're talking a very rapid series of movements here. You basically just shove them aside. So what I'm picturing here is that you have either tried to come to a very sudden stop to perform this curtsy, or you've tried to do it without slowing down, still moving. So which would you prefer?
I'm imagining it being her stumbling through, and then getting a good look inside, and then just as one of the people asks her, who the hell are you? Then she does the curtsy.
Okay. So what I want you to do is roll acrobatics. Roll for me.
Alright. That's a good roll for me. Thankfully.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a strong area for you, I think.
Yep.
Is that part of the curtsy?
So what I'm going to say is you dash in and you try to pull yourself to a stop to perform this kind of complicated curtsy, but you haven't quite caught your footing yet. And you trip and fall straight onto your face onto the floor.
For the record, that's an 8. That's an 8 on acrobatics.
Yep, it's an 8 on acrobatics.
With a bonus of 5, which means that the dice rolled a 3. Welcome to rolling badly on your good skills.
Okay, let's move on. Graeyam, you're up.
So this the big barbarian guy who's approaching us, he's pretty unambiguously hostile at this time, I assume.
Yeah, he's just seen one of his own men go down, so he's not in the great headspace right now. He also heard his name yelled from the tent right here. So now he's kind of torn, but he's also very clearly ready for a fight.
Alright, I think my instinct would probably be to try to just go deal with him and get his attention on me.
Yeah, you know now, by the way, that his name is Callum, based on what was yelled from inside the tent.
Hey, Callum.
I knew a Callum once.
So I'm going to move 15 feet towards him, stop 10 feet away, and then make an attack with the bladed end of my glaive, which I can do because it has reach.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a 13 to hit.
That does not hit. He fends off the blade of your glaive as it comes down. He hefts his axe and whacks it away at the last moment.
Okay.
And just kind of grills at you in anger.
But because I have the polearm master feat, I can still make an attack with a blunt end. Using the bonus action, which is also a 13 to hit.
He just kind of he doesn't even try to knock that one away. He just kind of braces himself and takes it to his shoulder and barely moves.
Ooh. All right. Well, I still have some movement left, so I'm going to then move back 5 feet and kind of motion to him to come at me.
Okay. Right. Okay, so that makes it... Pry, that's your turn. You're up.
Okay, welcome to Shenanigans Hour. Okay, I have technical questions.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
see all of these guys?
Everyone currently visible on the map. The only one you can't get direct line of sight on is this one over here, but the others
Okay,
you
I
can
don't.
see.
I
Yes.
don't care about this one because. Okay, what I'm going to do? I'm going to cast dancing lights like an asshole.
Okay, throw up the spell card for me, and we'll describe it for the folks at home.
Okay, you create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, which is 120 feet. Making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast dancing lights on their faces.
Okay.
As torches. Like, they look like torches in their faces.
Okay, yeah, alright. Okay.
It is a dim light.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
but it's
bright,
in
not
your
super
face.
bright.
but it is going to surprise them, I would say. Like, it's suddenly, whoa, kind of catch them off guard, so...
And as my bonus action... because I'm going to... of course, I keep misclicking. I'm going to Bardic Inspiration Graeyam for a d6.
Ooh, very nice.
Okay, right. Can you tell everyone what Bardic Inspiration does, or do you want me to do it?
Okay, basically, I give Graeyam a d6 that he can add to any roll for the next minute, I think.
10 minutes, but it's not any roll, it's an ability check, which would have been very useful for my acrobatics. An attack roll or a saving throw, yeah.
I did just whiff 2 easy strikes in a row, so that might come in handy on the next round.
Alright,
Yeah.
cool, great. Right, so Bardic Inspiration. For the purposes of roleplay, Bardic Inspiration is basically when a bard plays some music or gives a rousing speech or something along those lines that revs everyone up and gives them the inspiration they need to press on.
So how have you done this?
Oh, yeah, okay, so since I'm like dashes running past Graeyam, I slap him on the shoulder going, "You can do this!"
And that is just so inspiring to me. That just actually magically empowers my physical abilities. Just a little shoulder clap there.
Yeah, that's all it is. You know, it's the sheer power of faith in yourself and belief and faith of the
Thank
heart.
you, strange man that I met an hour ago.
Okay, right, that brings us to Gharial, you're up.
How do I know how long I can go?
So what you can do is you can move 30 feet as normal on a turn and then take any action. Or if you want to do a charge, you can do 60 feet, but with the trade-off that you can't do any other actions except an attack, and if you miss the attack on that turn, it puts you at a disadvantage for your next turn.
Gharial isn't very smart. There is a guy right there. Gharial sees a big boy 50 feet away and decides wants big boy. Big boy looks tasty to eat. We'll kill big boy now. So we're going big boy town.
One-way ticket to Big Boy Town.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Right.
Okay.
Make an attack.
So
We see just this bird dash out from out the shadows into the biggest target.
yeah,
Now, it's worth noting so far, Gharial is the only one that's killed anyone, and it's quite in quite a violent and sudden manner. So this is potentially quite terrifying.
2 people, actually.
Oh yeah, because my introduction was killing someone.
That's right. So I mean, for all intents and purposes, Gharial is still dripping with other people's blood.
I'm gonna use my rapier because it's my strongest weapon here.
Okay.
Do I just click the rapier?
Yes.
Yep, it should roll for you.
Oof.
There we go. Yeah, so 13 and 15. Unfortunately, neither of those hit. This big boy is a big boy. So yeah, unfortunately that is a miss. He deflects your rapier blow quite easily with the butt of his axe, just whacks it away at the last moment. Right. This brings us to the other guards. One of them, the first guard that of the two that tried to approach Gharial is really taken aback and surprised by the events of going on, but he's got his weapon ready and he's moving in on the nearest available target, which happens to be Graeyam, so he's going to go and engage Graeyam there.
Aha. Well, because I have the Polar Master feat, I get an attack of opportunity on him when he enters my reach.
Yep. Take that now.
I shall.
Cheeky.
So I kind of see him coming out of the corner of my eye, and I try to fend him off, and that is a 20 to hit.
20, that's a good hit. Yep. Glaive business end.
And that does 7 points of damage.
You do 7 points of damage, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's a really powerful hit. There, you bring the glaive down, and he doesn't see it coming. He can't defend himself on time. He just barely manages to brace himself for the attack, so it doesn't completely take his head off. But you've dealt a powerful blow right down onto his shoulder, and now you can see him kind of struggling to stand.
Nice.
But he is going to take this opportunity to try and take a stab back at you in revenge.
Pry yells towards the guard, "You might want to consider disengaging that one."
So he rolls a 13. I assume that doesn't hit.
That does not hit because my armor class is a 16.
Yeah, his spear just glances right off it with no problems. He is looking in a bad way and looking honestly a little bit embarrassed. Okay, yeah, this guard down here is going to make a move on the terrifying spectre of Gharial. But is actually going to do so at a disadvantage due to the sheer strangeness of what's going on. The dancing light in front of his eyes and this blood-soaked massive bird flying towards them. Is going to take a wild stab out to try and fend off the attacker.
What do I do?
You don't have to do anything. This is all on me.
Okay.
He stabs the spear out wildly and misses badly. Not only does he miss, he actually overbalances himself in his panic and stumbles backwards into the fire. Back here. The ash and smoke just fires up into the air, and you can just hear him screaming in pain. Ah! Oh God!
Jesus Christ!
What a delicious meal! What a delicious meal!
Eistla, you're up.
God, I don't even know anymore.
Plans changed.
Yeah, I'll move up there so I can get somewhat of an idea what is happening. That guard in the fire, is he standing up or?
He just fell down onto his back, so he's lying prone right now.
Okay, I'm gonna try casting Dissonant Whispers on Big Boy.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Large lad.
Let's throw up the spell card and tell the folks at home what Dissonant Whispers does.
Dissonant Whisper.
Yes.
Let's try that again. Roll20 is the tool we use to as a visual aid here, and sometimes it's a little finicky. So.
No, I was trying to find it. Just had cast ass, but
Just that. What?
cast ass
Eistla,
level X. Dissonant
It's
Whisper.
super effective.
You whisper a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear, racking it with terrible pain. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 3d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction.
Brutal.
If available,
Alright.
to move as far as its speed allows away from you.
Alright, let's get that a try. Wisdom saving throw. Does not do well. Rolled a 10, which is very unlikely to be successful.
That's my only spell slot, so that means I do 3d6 damage.
Oof. Okay, yeah, 3d6 damage. Roll for damage there.
And I believe Gharial gets an opportunity attack here.
Assume he doesn't kill it.
Yeah, so I do 10 psychic damage, and it has to use its...
He grabs his head and kind of... You see pain. He yells in pain as as these whispers fill his mind. And he takes 10 points of psychic damage, and he's going to attempt to run, I believe is the rule, isn't it? He has to run away.
Yep.
As far away from you as he can.
Yeah, if available, must as far as its speed allows, away from me.
Yep.
So he's going to attempt to run, which means he has to run past both Gharial and
Graeyam.
Gharial and Graeyam. Yep.
Does it trigger opportunity attacks from both then?
It does, yes. If they choose to take
Graeyam has already
Yes.
used his
I
reaction.
have used my reaction.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, Graeyam has
okay,
used
fair
his
enough.
reaction, so it does not get an opportunity attack, but Gharial does. So, Gharial, your opportunity attack. An opportunity attack is an attack you can take when you're engaged with, when an enemy leaves your zone of attack, your area of attack. When they leave your area of attack, you get to take what's called an opportunity, where you can get a free attack just to kind of hit them as they're running away. You get to do one per turn as part of your reaction. So you can do that now.
Okay, well, I've still got my rapier out. So I will...
Alright.
That's...
So right now that comes up as an 11. Unfortunately, that's a miss. Your rapier stabs out at the guy as he runs, but it just catches the edge of his armor and does no damage. Okay, so up next. But that was a good hit there, Eistla. Well done. Crebbs, you're up.
Crebbs Daintley is, as has been established, a bit of a coward. And seeing
Just a
that
bit.
one of the targets in particular is running away and won't be coming back anytime soon, he moves a bit further closer towards the fire. And artificers don't really cast spells; they use magic items to cast spells. So he retrieves from his cloak a pistol. It looks a bit like a flintlock pistol, almost. And he cracks it open and loads a round in it that's just really bright, almost obtrusively red. Kicks it back open and shoots a firebolt at the running away guy, the big boy.
Okay, so Callum is taking a firebolt to the back. You're going to briefly explain what firebolt does?
It's a spell that shoots fire at someone and
It
they
is.
then die.
It's fairly straightforward, yeah. It's your classic fireball kind of...
Yeah.
Roll to hit.
23 to hit.
That is going to do it.
That might
Good
hit,
job.
yes.
All right, roll for damage on that.
That's a 7 damage.
Yeah, your firebolt streaks from the end of your pistol with a loud bang, smacks into the back in Callum's back, leaving a loud scorch mark and burning a hole through his traveling cloak.
Is he dead?
No, he's still standing. He's Callum's a big boy, as you correctly observed. So he's still standing.
Craig, I need to call him Craig. Krebs looks up, looks at the big boy, Callum, looks back down at his pistol, really hoped that would finish him off, and then realised Callum might be coming back and just goes, "Oh, bollocks."
As Krebs, as you let off the loud bang from your pistol going off, you hear rustling and moving and the clanking of weapons and armor from inside two of the larger tents to the south and to the west.
Krebs repeats again, "Oh, bollocks."
Two soldiers emerge right behind Eistla from the tent to the south.
Oops, sorry,
And
pal.
two more emerge from the entrance to the one to the west.
These new guys just roll a nat 20 for initiative. That bodes well.
They're all rolling weirdly well for their initiatives.
I'm not jealous. You're jealous.
Who's I'm not even. No, I'm not. I'm not jealous at all.
Say, I'm not Jeremy.
What?
Who's...
Your
No.
audio cut out and it...
Which
Oh,
Jeremy?
jealous. Sorry.
All right. So the new guards have emerged, and one of the two that emerged from the tent to the south see Eistla right in front of them, and obviously move in for the attack.
Wasn't me.
At first, they don't necessarily know that Eistla needs to be killed, but they are going to try and wear her down. So they're going to lower their spears and demand that you surrender.
I bring up my hands in surrender.
They raise their spears and close in
End of campaign.
to surround you on either side.
Look, there's two armed guards against me. Like,
One of them
Pretty
moves up
much alone.
behind you, while the other one kind of stays in place to watch from the other side.
So it's like that one scene in The Phantom Menace where Captain Tarpals and Jar Jar are being surrounded by battle droids, and Tarpals goes, "No giving up, Jar Jar, we think of something." And then Jar Jar goes, "My give up, my give up."
It's exactly like that.
Yes,
yeah.
that's
exactly. It was a real inspiration for me. Was the Phantom Menace?
Is that our first Phantom Menace reference?
One, first of many.
It cannot be the
First of
one.
many.
I refuse to believe it's the first one you've made.
I can't remember any.
Anyway, yes. So remind me, Dissonant Whispers only lasts for one turn, right? The effect of running away.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so Callum is
have
now back in the game.
I have
What's
not
that?
done anything that is obviously antagonistic yet. I whispered
That's true,
that.
actually.
Yeah. So Callum is going to move back into the game, and upon seeing observing the situation, is actually going to go after Pry, looking at the softer target, while Graeyam is occupied, and it's going to make a wild, massive axe swing at Pry.
Rude.
It's a little rude, yeah. He's not a nice man. So that is a 13. I don't think that hits Pry.
That exactly hits Pry.
Oh shit! Okay, so the axe comes swinging down and finds a gap in your armor, dealing 9 points of slashing damage.
Ouch.
Ooh.
So I'm down.
Oh shit! Already? Oh, level
I
1
had
is
exactly.
rough, huh?
I had exactly 9 points.
Why do you think I gave up?
Oh, he had your number, huh? Yeah. So Callum brings down Pry. Mimosa, you're up.
Yeah. Mimosa stands up and then performs the Cosian high curtsy properly this time.
Okay.
And you can see the elven man almost like by reflex bowing in response before he even realizes what he's doing. And he almost looks at you and like, who are you? What are you doing here? What do you want?
I am Lady Mimosa of the Quinwynn family, and...
Wait, of the Cosian Quinwynns?
Exactly.
Oh.
I'm...
Do you know what's going on here? What's with all the chaos?
Well, I'm unfortunately trapped in a rather perilous situation, and I believe that your men are currently thinking that they are doing the right thing, but soon, when people will come for me, I believe they will be in trouble.
Okay, I'm going to need you to roll deception for that.
Or intimidation.
Or it could be intimidation. Well, you can make a case for either one, I would think, yeah.
I think it's intimidation.
Okay, right.
Because
Intimidation.
she I think Mimosa thinks that she's right about what she's saying, but she's definitely intimidating these two.
Yeah, okay, intimidation we'll go with then.
Yep.
That's a 12. Alright. I'm going to say that's actually somewhat successful. He takes a look, and he kind of a look of panic kind of dawns slowly over his face, and he turns to his female companion and says, "You have to go out there and tell Callum they have to stand down. I can't take any chances. If she really is one of the Quinwynns, you have no idea how bad this could get for us." So his companion kind of nods curtly and steps past you outside the door.
Mimosa has like a wry smile on her face.
You still have more of your action left if you'd like to do more. What are you thinking? Would you?
Is there like any seating available?
There is, yeah. There's actually a comfortable cot on one side and a couple of kind of carved wooden stumps as kind of makeshift stools.
Okay, I think Mimosa takes a seat on the cot.
Alright. He kind of looks at you a little offended that you've made yourself so at home, but it seems a little too scared to do anything about it.
Yeah. And like, she also like makes sure that he sees the Quinwynn family lapel pin.
Oh yes, if he'd said that first, that'd have given you advantage on the intimidation check. Yeah, so his companion kind of steps out behind you and out of the tent, out into the there, and upon seeing the guards surrounding Eistla, yells at them to stand down. Which they look at her, look confused for a moment, and then promptly do just that.
I just shrug.
I love how he doesn't I love he doesn't know it's the literal smoking gun that's standing 5 feet away from him.
Alright, so the guard that is currently behind Gharial is not got the instruction yet, so is still going to make an attack on Gharial and make a quick spear stab, but again is going to do it at disadvantage because of all the confusion and fear going on here. So let's make that happen. That is an 11. That does not hit you, Gharial, I don't think. Your armor class is 15, so that does not hit. Yeah, the spear goes wild and you easily just dodge out of the way of it with no problems there.
Your AC
Graeyam,
is
you're up.
15? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make a business end glaive attack on Callum.
Okay,
With
yeah.
Mage. And that is a 7 to hit.
That
which,
unfortunately is not enough to get through his armor.
even if I roll out a 6 on the Bardic Inspiration, that would only bring me up to 13.
Yeah.
But I will attack with the blunt ends once again on Callum, and that's a 14. I don't think that hits either.
Unfortunately, that's not enough. Your Bardic Inspiration may help with that, though.
Yeah.
Is it worth it for a D4 damage?
Up to you.
He's been hit quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very. It's already very.
It's true.
close, right?
I'll use that Bardic Inspiration die, which brings it up to a 17 to hit.
That's enough.
Alright. And that is 5 points of damage.
Okay, yeah, that is actually pretty solid. Yeah, you get a good whack on him. He fends off the blade of your glaive and seems kind of confident that he's got the situation under control, but isn't prepared for the other side to come up behind his swing and smack him right in the back of the head.
Nice.
So he stumbles and looks a little staggered and hurt.
Helen has just written bonk in the chat there.
I'm going to use my movement to just sort of dash around to the other side of this guard, putting him between me and Callum.
Okay, good move. All right. Pry, you're up. You're down, actually. Make a deaths roll, please, for me. Okay, so this is the first time this has happened. I'm actually kind of glad it came up early, because now we can
We're exploring all
demonstrate
the
how this
mechanics
works.
for the audience here. We need to see how PCs die.
Exactly, this is quite a good primer. So the way this game works is when you run out of HP, you go into fall unconscious, and you start to, in every turn after that, you have to make what's called a death save. And what you do is you roll a d20. You have to roll higher than a 10. If you successfully roll higher than a 10, you get one successful death save. If you roll a 10 or lower, you get one failed death save. If you have 3 failures, your character dies. If you have 3 successes, your character stabilizes and is no longer in danger.
And these are non-cumulative.
Yeah, these are not cumulative.
And if you roll a 1, that it's 2 failures in one roll. And if you roll a 20, I think that's an automatic stabilization with 1 hit point.
Yeah. At this point in the game, I'm not likely to kill your character, except in the exceptional circumstances where I can't think of a good reason for them not to die. But in this case, what I would probably do is give you some sort of crippling injury or some kind of like severe scar instead of outright death.
That is an excellent beginning to Pry's adventure. Just getting
another game that I had someone go down in their very first session because they tried running away from goblins and it didn't work out for them. All right, prepare for Pry's death save.
That's a 10.
That's a 10. That's 1 failed death save. Yeah, okay. So that Pry, that is now the guards are back up, but I think the guard in question is one of the ones that was ordered to stand down. Yeah, that's right. So they will not be engaging in combat. They will be standing to order with their spear upright. They will not be attacking Eistla this turn. Okay, Gharial, you're up.
Gharial is incredibly frustrated. Gharial is not used to not stabbing things to death. Has attempted multiple times to stab this man to death, and now an annoying fly is buzzing about her, and she is very pissed off, and is going to hop back a step, pull out an entire short bow, and try and shoot the guy straight in the face from close range because she's that pissed.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to roll my short bow here.
Okay. 21. That's going to do it.
That's a 21 to hit.
Okay, 21 with the short bow. Roll for damage on that because I'm not even going to check if that hits. I already know it does. Now, I don't think this qualifies as a sneak attack.
No.
Yeah.
But
It's very unsneaky. It's
do
probably
get 10 points of piercing damage, which is a really good shot from a short bow. 10 points of piercing damage. You fired an arrow right into this man's face at point blank range.
Yes.
The arrow just goes right through his eye and just kills him instantly. I assume it's the one here, right? The one that was right in front of him.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's dead. Okay. You anything else you want to do with that turn, Gharial?
Oh, can I do another thing?
You can move still, and you have a bonus action if you have anything you want to do.
Well, I think that Gharial is going to run straight up to Callum and scream very loudly in his face.
Yeah, so the guard engaged with Graeyam is momentarily kind of distracted and unsure what to do, but doesn't feel like he has any choice but to keep fighting at this point. So makes attack out. It makes Okay.
Prykoff's blood.
Here's what happens. He looks at Graeyam. Kind of looks at Graeyam for perhaps looking for an ounce of humanity and sympathy, and drops his weapon, drops to his knees and surrenders. Please, please, please don't let that bird near me.
And I say, okay, fine, throw down your weapon and go stand over there or something.
Already done. He's thrown down his spear to the ground and is he's going to go kind of walk over to the tent here and just kind of hold his hands up just to be absolutely clear. He's not armed.
And I will now be attempting to protect him from the bird.
Okay. Right. Okay. Do you have any moves you want to... anything else you want to respond, say to him, or anything you want to try before... You can't move, it's not your turn yet, but you want,
it's not my
to say to
turn.
him?
I think I have my hands full at the moment for conversation.
Right. Cool. All right. And that leaves it with the guard who's currently in the fire.
I managed to forget about that one.
He is going to try and pull himself out of the fire after taking 1d4 points of fire damage. He takes the point of fire damage. He pulls himself up from the fire, covered in soot and the smell of burning meat coming from him. And kind of steps out towards and looks confused and dazed and kind of stumbles away from the source of the biggest source of sound, specifically the cawing of the vicious bird demon and the sound of Crebbs' gun, and just kind of tries to stumble away from all the danger as fast as he can.
We're not coming off as being very heroic in this fight.
Look, they started it, in fairness.
Did they?
Yeah, did they though?
The two guards who stepped out of the tent here, they're going to start moving up. One of them is going to move towards Graeyam to figure out what's going on with the soldier who just surrendered. So, what are you doing? Why aren't you fighting, coward? So the guard who just surrendered points to Gharial,
who is
that thing is why I'm not fighting.
Continuing to scream. Like a death scream. Somebody's death scream that she has copied straight into Callum's face.
I'll take that as a failed death save on myself now.
Don't.
The soldier down here is going to try and grab the one who stumbled out of the fire and steady him to his feet, and actually try and bind his wounds a little bit and heal him. So it's going to be occupied. Eistla, you're up. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try and fool the guards right by me that I see something in the trees, out to the side, and I'm gonna take a step back and kind of fake run away from it, shouting "troll."
Okay, roll deception.
Yeah, that's definitely deception.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there is a troll.
24.
Oof.
Jesus.
Okay.
So good that you will a troll into existence.
Okay, so what happens is, you manage to... what you do is you see an opportunity here, right? The guards are distracted by waiting for instructions from who was obviously their commander, the woman that just stepped out of the tent. and they haven't noticed that you've seen a handful of pebbles on the ground that you've kind of quietly picked up with one hand and thrown into the bushes as far and hard as you can. They hear the rattling and the cracking sound, and you go, "Oh shit, the troll's back!" and start running the other direction. They're too distracted by this thought of a troll emerging from the woods that they don't notice you running. Their commander does, however, and yells at you to stop.
Okay, so that would be my action, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to. I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna keep running.
If you've already taken an action, you can't dash, I would say.
Oh,
You
right.
have to, you can only run at a normal pace. Yeah.
Yeah, only rogues can use bonus action to dash. Or monks, actually.
Some monks, and I think there's a bard subclass that can.
Anyway, point is that you can. So you can only move at your regular pace, which is fine. You can still do that. But you've been yelled at by the commander to stop. Do you want to respond to this? Or are you just going to ignore her for now?
I mean, I'm gonna answer that next turn.
Okay. All right. This brings us to the one remaining guard who has not yet moved. Who, upon hearing the sound of yelling from the familiar commander's voice, is going to move around here to see what's going on. And it promptly sees Eistla dashing towards him. All right, Crebbs, you're up.
There's an in the roll 20.
So, did all the things that Mimosa was saying inside the tent about standing down, telling your men to stand down, would Crebbs have likely heard that?
You would have heard the commander come out and order the other soldiers to stand down?
Crebbs would like to, because he's heard that there people are shouting to stand down. Can he see Pry from where he is?
I don't think so. I think Pry's on the other side of the tent.
Sorry, Pry, I could have helped you, but that's not going to happen now.
You know where Pry is. You've heard his kind of yell, I would think. And it's fairly easy for Graeyam to kind of communicate that information to you if he chooses to, but
over there.
You can't actually see him from where you are.
How's he doing?
You heard his yell, and you're hearing a lot of screaming from the same direction. So
which is mostly just scary and confusing.
Crebbs, making sure he keeps enough distance so he's not within hitting distance of Callum, walks up here. It's about 30 foot of movement. I've cast Cure Wounds on Pry.
Okay, well, regardless of the outcome, Pry is already going to regain consciousness, but let's see how much.
Is he?
You walk through a tent.
I mean, it's at least 1 point of healing, so yes.
Yeah. Minimum. So, like, no matter what happens, the Cure Wounds that's what it says on the tin. It cures your wound. It's a classic healing spell. If you've been hurt, this will restore some of your health. When you are in a death save kind of situation, or you're unconscious in any way, 1 point of healing is enough to restore you back to consciousness and safety. So all it takes is 1 point. So any healing spell will automatically bring you back into the game. Let's just see by how much. Oh,
it's by 1 point.
That's enough.
Plus your spellcasting modifier.
Oh yeah, you got to add your modifier.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Plus 3 then. So that's 4 damage. Crebbs, he takes out a small packet of something that reads Gharyl Polyp, which is a really niche reference for some of my British friends out there.
I like it.
And pours this child's medicine into Pry's mouth, and restores 4 hit points with it, and then says to Callum as a free action talk, goes, your mate, the commanding looking lady down there, said to stand down. Got an order from inside, just relaying some information. Please don't hit me with your big hammer.
It's an axe. But
I have stopped mid scream.
I waved to Gharial.
I stopped mid scream, like it cut off, like cutting off an audio file halfway through, and said, "Oh, hi, rat baby."
I'm not a rat baby.
You're my little rat baby.
Okay.
I'm calm now.
Well, we found a title for the episode. And yeah, so that's my action. That's my turn. Heal up Pry and communicate to Callum that his commander told him to step down.
stand down.
Yeah.
Right.
Stand down.
So the commander now steps forward, and you see, those of you who can see her, you can see like a light flash of light emerges from her fingertips. She raises them to her throat, and she yells the voice that booms over the entire camp to stand down. Everyone, lower your weapons. This doesn't need to be any bloodier than it already is.
For the record, Pry hadn't even drawn anything.
So, which of you wants to do that? Which of you wants to stand down?
I will stand down.
All right.
Krebs instantly stands down. Are you kidding me?
I'll keep the glaive ready if somebody comes at me, but...
Can I stand down from sitting down?
Yeah, you can. You can make a symbolic standing down.
Yeah.
Krebs leaps to the floor into the fetal position.
Who else?
I think Mimosa definitely heard that yell, right?
Yeah.
I think he, looks at the man, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. He actually looks like he has a little bit of a smile on his face, like a sigh of relief comes out. So that just leaves the question of Gharial and Eistla. What do you want to do?
I think I managed to snap out of it, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of go a bit further, but do actually slow down and stop.
Okay. So kind of end up somewhere like here by the fire, yeah.
I'm going to start to I'm gonna lower my weapons and make a good show of standing down. I want to know if Callum has even slightly lowered his guard.
You can see Callum still has his weapon raised, but he almost moves as though he's going to attack, but then sort of hesitates for a moment, thinks better of it. He keeps his weapon up, like he's still he's still prepared to defend himself, but he's no longer aggressively attacking. So for the time being, everyone is at peace.
Gharial has very, very showily put away the rapier and the short bow. Turns around and sort of smiles as much as a bird can do at Callum, and then stabs him in the neck with the knife.
Oh no!
Could you roll a sleight of hand check for me?
Oh no!
Yeah,
I love Gharial.
That is a 20 on that dice.
All right.
Okay.
It's not a natural 20, but...
No, but it's 16 plus 4.
This almost sounds like Gharial should have advantage on this next attack roll.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking. With successful sleight of hand check, you can make it a sneak attack. No.
Which means sneak attack damage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's roll with advantage. That's 19. Excellent.
19.
Ooh, that was lucky.
Yeah. The other roll
can...
was a botch.
Are you prepared for the possibility that this won't kill him?
Oh, I did 5 plus 2.
Yep. So you put your knife right into his neck, but it does catch the flesh, but he manages to move his shoulder up at the last moment and push the blade away where it can really get into a deadly wound. And he's still standing. He's cut pretty bad, but he brings his axe back around and he swings it at you. It's his turn next anyway, so...
Krebs murmurs, going to fucking die. Going to fucking die. So many debts unpaid. I think I left the oven on.
Gharial very much doesn't like that he avoided being stabbed twice. She was not going to not stab him.
Yeah, that. Okay, 16 hits, right? I think it does.
Yes, just.
That's 7 points of slashing damage. The axe comes down on you.
And oh, man. That's my HP.
Oh no! Gharial is finally down.
Callum is a big boy.
Alright, now we've got ourselves in a difficult situation here. Everyone else is prepared to stop fighting except these two. So, does anyone else want to intervene at this point and see if they can simmer things down before Callum goes completely, like, off the rails?
How is Callum looking in terms of...
He's looking pretty hurt, but he's not, like, on his last legs, and he is currently, like, feeling... You can tell he's, like, he was his biggest priority was taking out Gharial.
Okay, have I heard the sounds of fighting since the commander told everyone to stand down?
Almost certainly.
I think you heard the yelling and like a clang sound as the last couple of attacks.
I think Mimosa actually yells from inside the tent, like, "What the hell are you doing? Didn't you hear what this commander said? Like, didn't you hear what she said?"
The commander actually then steps forward at that point, and upon surveying the situation, orders Callum to stop now, and specifically him. And he takes a step back, kind of smirks at the kind of the prostrate form of Gharial, and just kind of lowers his axe. So, I'm done anyway.
If he was on lower HP, I would have shot him in the head.
So I think we would have... Never mind. I think we would have been at odds because at this point, Pry was considering just shielding Callum.
Yeah. So Crebbs, you see sort of Crebbs go towards his gun and then sort of tuck it away, sort of hesitantly back into his cloak.
Okay. Yeah. So the other guards have kind of stepped away, and they're kind of looking over the fallen and kind of gathering themselves around the fire for to kind of take stock of what just happened.
One thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pry reaches out to Callum and goes like, "Since you've put me down, could you like at least help me back up?"
He kind of looks at you and says, no. He shakes his head and walks away.
Crebbs offers you a hand, looks very obviously hurt that he wasn't your first choice.
He returns to his station, standing outside the tent, and just kind of looks stoically off into the distance.
Pry was turned towards Callum, but yeah, we'll take Krebs' hand. And
does anyone want to help Gharial, by the way?
Yes, I do actually. I'm going to.
Wow.
Pry is going to run his fingers across his pan flute that he's got on his belt as a focus. So it like chimes slightly, and I'm a cast Cure Wounds.
Hey, okay. Roll for that. All right, 5 points back to Gharial. So Gharial, you're now on 5 HP until we can take a rest for you to heal up.
Did anyone catch the troll?
There was a troll?
Yeah?
I heard there was a troll.
Crebbs goes to help Gharial to their feet, but making sure to keep a firm grasp on them so they can't run away and murder anyone else.
Okay.
Maybe? Did I kill him?
Yes!
He's standing right there.
He's not in view. There's a tent in the way.
You killed him, and then his twin brother turned up, and he's immortal, so there's no point trying to hit him.
That sounds unlikely, but I love you.
I love you too, murder bird. Rat Baby and Murder Birder, a CBS cop show coming to you this fall.
Right, so the elven man turns to Mimosa and just like, okay, so what do you want from me here? What is this about?
Well,
we're not sure.
I was just...
Anyone who wants to can join them in the tent now, by the way. That's
have I been Am I being allowed to just be out of chains? Have I not been chained up?
You are being under the protection of your allies. You're not being allowed anywhere near anyone else.
Oh, that baby.
That's kind of that's the situation here, right? As long as you keep some distance from everyone else and they keep an eye on you, you're allowed to stay.
I think Crebbs will stick around to make sure. So Crebbs sticks there to make sure that Gharyl doesn't run off, but also keeps an ear to the tent so he feels included.
At least until they can figure out what's actually going on here and what Mimosa wants, apparently. Yeah. So what is it you want? Why are you here? Why are you bringing these people into my camp and attacking my men?
Yes, I do believe that the days of Alba as an independent nation might be drawn to a close. And
what do you mean by that?
look at where I am. If anything bad were to happen to me, regardless of your party's involvement, it would likely be a bad sign for any illegal activities in this region.
I don't know what you mean by... I don't know what you're implying by illegal activities here, but everything everything I'm doing is above board.
Throughout all this, Pry is scribbling notes in a small note.
Well, you see, whoever these people are, they...
I have a name.
Do you? Interesting.
Yeah, you know it.
Very well then. They are here in pursuit of a goblin, perhaps? Or a halfling?
At this point, Crebbs takes out a small device from his cloak, whispers a phrase into it, and pushes it underneath the bottom of the tent, and the rest of the party can see a small mechanical spider sort of walk into the room, saying the same phrase on loop. Martyn the Dwarf! Martyn the Dwarf! Martyn the Dwarf!
How much attention does this take from you?
Shall I make a perception check?
Sure.
Or actually, I'll make an investigation check. Are you going to try and do something?
Garyl's just going to wander off and start eating one of the dead bodies.
Okay.
Oh god.
Wait, is it investigation, I'm guessing? Is that right, Martyn?
Perception.
I'd say it's more of a perception thing. I honestly, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's fair to say you're probably going to be distracted by this, and Gary
13
is going to be. Yeah,
that works.
All right, let's say you notice Gharial just kind of trotting away towards the corpses.
Nope.
Oh right, you were outside, on the outside. Yeah. All right. Well, yes, quite. A dwarf, whom your people seem to have kidnapped. Now, I have no...
Kidnapped is, perhaps the wrong word for what you would call an act of justice.
Well...
How do you know this Martyn the Dwarf, if you don't mind me asking?
Pry scribbles more intensely.
Graeyam, would you like to take over? I believe you are more personally involved in this.
Which is, I like to imagine it's your way of going, Heath, did you take notes last session?
No, I did. No, this is just that.
That question is no.
Okay, so I know.
I remember.
I know. Yeah,
more.
I know what happened, but Mimosa was totally checked out.
Mimosa just was not paying attention.
Yeah.
So we don't really know him. We were just in a roadside tavern when a bunch of your guards, just burst in and grabbed this guy with no real explanation. And when we tried to ask why, they just kind of told us to fuck off. But he seemed pretty adamant that he was in some serious trouble, and he asked us to go help talk to a friend of his on the other side of town, and then one thing kind of led to another, and now here we are.
What friend was this?
I definitely wrote her name down.
A mechanical spider comes through and goes, Morak the Dwarf, Morak the Dwarf, Morak the Dwarf.
Was she alone when you found her?
Sort of.
That's where we met
The bird.
unhinged Kenku.
Oh, bird.
Okay, now Mimosa is, is this man trying to figure out, if there's a paper trail going on?
If you could roll insight to figure out if you can kind of glean what he knows from his kind of mannerisms, yeah.
19.
Yeah. He's very obviously trying to pump you for information. He, if you remember, the dwarf that you're talking about, the woman, was almost assassinated by one of the men, by someone wearing the same uniform as the disguised soldiers, and only barely survived because of Gharial's intervention. It seems as though he's trying to figure out whether or not she's been killed. So he's trying to determine if you were there, if you were just there before the assassin showed up, or if the assassination failed.
Now, unfortunately, we know nothing about this woman's current state of health.
I don't believe I mentioned anything about her health. I simply asked if she was alone. He kind of glares at you at this. He kind of looks at you for a moment, like a side-eye kind of look.
So does Pry, actually. Pry just goes makes a face that goes like, what the hell is she talking about?
What are you implying, Lady Quinwynn?
Well, it seems to me that there is something more going on.
I've already told you this is not a kidnapping. It is justice. Correct. Accurate.
Yeah, justice for what?
Yeah, what's the crime here?
Well, I don't see why it's any of your concern.
Well,
you know this man's a smuggler, don't you? A criminal, a common thief.
Is this truly what justice looks like here in...
Lady Quinwynn, you do not... You've been in Kos too long. You don't know how wild this land is. You don't know how difficult things are here, how dangerous these people are. If you would allow this to go unpunished, and these people in this godforsaken place are unwilling to make the punishment themselves, then someone must step in and create order. That is what I am doing. Now, please, allow me to go about my business.
Blah, blah, blah. She's fucking weird.
Mimosa offers him her hand.
In marriage?
No. To shake.
He reaches out to shake the hand, a little suspiciously, but does so anyway, because, polite.
I believe that we are in a court here.
I'm glad to hear that.
As I said, people will come looking for me. Soldiers from Kos, with true justice in their hearts.
He looks a little, based on your insight roll from before, I'm going to say he looks almost a little nervous at that idea. Like he's thinking, what soldiers? Are they your father's soldiers? Or someone else?
My mother's.
Your mother's soldiers? There's now like a visible tremble, like an audible trembling in his voice when he hears mention of your mother.
At this point, I just want to leave the tent.
Yeah, you're just kind of wandering out the tent now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say hey to Cream on the way out, making it very clear that I'm the one who did that whisper to him earlier.
Okay, yeah.
But without actually giving it away to anyone else.
Look, I don't know who your friends are here. I don't know why you're taking company in these people. I understand, as I said before, this is a rough place. Sometimes you need protection from locals. I would encourage you, Lady Quinwynn, to remain here with me for a time until we return to Kos, so that I can personally return you to your father and your mother, and they can see my good intentions. Please consider that. Do that first.
Upon hearing this, Crebbs, because Crebbs is familiar with the Quinwynn family, having the whole reason that Mimosa is able to get into Alba was being smuggled out of a party by Crebbs.
Yep.
Crebbs attended. Very good friends with Lord Riesling Quinwynn. He, in fact, he sort of knows the family very well. He's very familiar, especially with the likenesses of the family. And so Crebbs casts a spell behind the tent where no one can see him currently. And Crebbs casts a spell, and you see Lady Vesper Quinwynn walks into the tent
shit.
and says, Hang on, let me think of a voice. Well, why ever would she leave with you when she's perfectly content here with me?
So as soon as you walk in, he just a look of panic just like comes over his entire face. He falls onto his knees. Oh, Lady Quinwynn. Oh God, I didn't know you were here. I had no idea it was with you. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Please.
Creb,
is there anything you need? Anything I can help you with at all?
Krebs does not look at him. Nose pointed towards the sky. His features exactly the same as Lady Vesper Quinwynn. Emilia, do you want to describe how Krebs currently looks?
Could you roll performance for this for me, by the way? See how convincing you are as behaving like her.
He gets to roll performance.
This is more of a performance.
Can I make a case for a deception?
Yeah. It gives me a case for deception, I think. But this is... let me think.
Please.
It depends. Okay, I'm going to let you roll. Please roll performance, but do it with advantage.
Performance
because
advantage.
Because of your disguise, yeah.
That's an 11.
That's 14.
Oh, 14, yeah, 14. And with nose turned up towards the top of the tent, he doesn't look at the cowering man, or goes, "Daughter."
Does Mimosa respond to this?
Yeah, because Mimosa definitely knows that her mother is nowhere
near.
And then Krebs pops
nowhere
the wink that is a code, part of the code.
Touches his nose, eh?
That Krebs and Mimosa established when they were escaping from Kos.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to explain to this foolish man that he should stand down. He should let us do as we please. Tell me, what do you think of his accoutrement?
Look, listen, I care not for this cowering, simpering fool and his rather disdainful robes. Ugh, fuchsia, watercolour. I care not for this insignificant creature. She just, with, her, sort of with whatever, I don't know what would be on her feet, I presume, like, impossible, like, evening shoes that she's managing to walk in, even in terrible mud, because that's just what she can do.
Yeah, she's just that kind of person.
Just sort of pushes him and his head a little bit so that he sort of splays out on the floor, and she goes, "You let my daughter do what she wishes, obviously. Otherwise the entire Quinwynn household will be coming down on your dick like a stack of 1,000 bricks, sir. And also, get a better sense of colour. Jesus."
Fantasy Jesus.
Is there anything else I can offer you, please? I'll be the dwarf. You want the dwarf, right? The prisoner?
Yes, the dwarf and a BLT.
Yeah, on your word, he is free.
And a BLT.
That can be arranged, I'm sure.
Mother...
It's a long journey.
Do you truly wish to eat whatever this man's crew has to offer?
No, you're right. He'd only served me up a bacon lettuce travesty. I shall away. And Lady Vesper Quinwynn leaves the tent.
Pry takes a bow and follows the Quinwynns.
Is anyone going to notice that I have now killed and eaten 3 of these people's men?
No.
Nope.
I think... Yeah, no, I'm
Probably
just...
better if I don't.
So
Okay.
this troll was like this big.
Okay, I'm going to say actually you've developed a bit of a rapport with the soldiers there, Eistla. You've been sharing your stories of the troll, and they've all been kind of into it. And even though you were fighting them not that long ago, they're kind of over it. They're mercenaries, you know. They're used to.
I
their
didn't really
shifting constantly like that.
Eistla wasn't fighting anyone.
Oh, Eistla
No one saw nothing.
did cast what's on something on Callum, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, but
Dissonant
no one
Whispers.
noticed that.
Yeah, Callum is also like standing away from everyone else, kind of stoically ignoring the rest of them.
Yep.
Oh, I
And
have
very
one more
much-
question.
Sure.
What happened to the guy who fell in the fire?
Oh, he's being like patched up over here.
Okay. Gharial has wandered back into camp, absolutely drenched in blood.
They are like they start like one of them. The first one to notice you just kind of looks and then his eyes widen and he starts kind of backing away for a little bit.
She just sits down
Okay.
on one of the logs around the fire.
Brilliant. Are we wrapping up there?
Yeah,
Hey,
let's call it
Gharial.
there.
Fantastic.
All right.
I am very unfazed by Gharial.
I've got quickly before we wrap up, just like a minute here. Graeyam, how would you? What's your kind of thoughts on everything that just happened in the last kind of 5 or 10 minutes there? What's your kind of take on that?
Mimosa's full of shit.
Obviously.
This is everyone's take on this.
Yeah, more or less just a very quick sort of round table of how everyone feels. But I'm specifically I'm thinking of Graeyam first because I've not really heard from Graeyam much.
I think Graeyam is just very confused and in over his head. He has no idea how to navigate this kind of situation.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
a
really-
little out of his depth here.
Yeah.
I'm taking that sound clip.
I think
I
Mimosa
really
is.
didn't like the speech about bringing like justice and order and blah.
You're pretty sure it's all bullshit as well.
I have
the
a
thing though, he's like he's just
I
talking
mean, no.
shit.
The
See-
thing is, even like with the this region is wild and dangerous and what, and like let it sort itself out. Also, you'd be making it boring by dominating it.
Okay.
Okay. See, Mimosa is definitely Mimosa definitely thinks that what she's saying is absolutely true, and maybe it is. We'll have to play to find out what happens.
Okay, I like that interesting potential there. It's unclear how much of that is actually true or how much he at least has reason to believe is true. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. That is the end of our second full episode of The Haven. We will. Is anyone have anything they'd like to plug or to kind of give the outro here? I'll give myself. I'm Martyn Bryson. I am the GM here. You can follow me on Twitter at. Let me quickly get my Twitter handle up because I always forget it. Boop, 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 boop. It is.
Is this Martyn?
Yep, at is this Martyn. That's ISTHISMERTYN. That's Martyn.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, I know you could have told me that, but I've got to do it myself. I've got to learn to walk on my own 2 feet. My current screen name is President of the Brainland. You can find me also on the Indie Haven podcast with Elodie and Josh Rivers, who is another good friend of ours. Very, very worth listening to. Extremely good.
It is.
We just released a new one. We talked about Hellen.
We did. Helen's a guest spot in it. It's great.
Yeah. In fact, the last 2 things I recorded, well, 3 things if you include this one, I've talked about Hellen. So
You're
Right,
officially
okay.
now an influencer, Hellen.
Oh heck.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to? I know Elodie. I know you do.
Cami Words, CHEMY Words. YouTube.com/Elodie Cunningham. I did another episode of my Pokemon Nuzlocke for the first time in a million
Oh
years.
yeah.
Woo.
I started watching that, but it was so late I had to go to bed before it was done.
You should also check out Elodie's Bandcamp, chemicalwordsmith.bandcamp.com, which has a lot of the music used in this show.
Very, very good stuff. Very underrated.
Okay.
Music we cannot listen to, but you
Well,
will.
we can. We're just not in the
Yeah,
podcast.
you can just go on there.
Okay, we can't hear it. We can't hear it,
Yeah,
but you
you'll
can.
enjoy it. Damn it.
My Twitter's at MDTigerHam. I retweet leftist things, and hopefully I'm going to start reviewing movies soon. I'll post them all there.
Okay. Anybody else have any Twitter or any other thing they want to plug?
No, I got banned because Twitter coddles turfs too much.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did. Didn't I? Forgot about that. You lasted like 5 minutes.
You can
Yeah, I lasted a while.
on Twitter at the Angry Ace, although I wouldn't recommend it because Twitter is a hellscape.
No, Heath's Facebook stuff is much better.
It is true.
Heath's Facebook stuff is excellent.
It's fabulous.
So, I'd like to plug a few things.
Sure.
One, I'm on Twitter at MaddyDuin. That's MADDYDUIN, where I retweet leftist anger and pornography. Twitch.tv at Smaduin, SMADUIN. I have been on several episodes of the Digicast, Digimon podcast I do with a few friends I've met in my times as a Slenderverse author, and that would be the Digicast is by the Ladybug Productions. I'll just post. I'll just give Martyn the link because that's a lot of.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
If you like listening to things about Digimon, also go and look at Things Talk, because in the last one of that we talked about Digimon for a long time.
Things
it's probably
is
not
great.
out
it's
yet. But
such a fun spin-off of the Indie Haven podcast. It's really very good.
I think that Josh has 5 of them that need to be edited and put out, so they're going to be coming out pretty consistently while
Thick
I'm away.
and fast.
Thick.
And fast. Yeah, so I think that covers everything, so we will say goodbye. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you join us for the next episode. Bye.
I hope you do as well.
Bye.
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 All right.
If you don't listen,
Bye-bye.
I will shoot you in the face with a short bow.
And you've proven that you're capable of it.
The Haven is a D&D actual play podcast on the Indie Haven and Podhaven networks. All attributions and licensing information can be found in the credits and description below.
Hi there, Martyn here. Just so you know, if you liked what you heard here today, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/thehaven. That's TheHaven, where you can support us financially if you'd like, or you can just follow us there for updates to the podcast, fan art, and various other things. And you can also find us on Facebook at The Haven Pod. If you go ahead and like our page, you'll get regular updates whenever we have anything new to tell you about. There you can also find a link to our Discord server. So give that a click. Come join us and talk about what you liked about the podcast. Thank you. Hold on, I forgot to fill out the macros for one of these characters, so just take a moment.
Oh crap, one of the cards got the same initiative as me. Oh, but I've got a better deck, so haha, I'm still going first. This is why you don't double decks, Graeyam.
Some of us were. Dex is the natural choice for Dumpstat.
Yeah,
The natural choice.
you gotta have one of them. Come on.
You'd be a fool to not dump Dex, honestly, if you were in my situation.
Excuse me. Visceral attacks scale with dex. Oh, sorry, wrong game.
What?
Really, we're not gonna do this, okay? We're just not.
It's fine, none of it's going to be in it. So.
Welcome to the first episode of our
matter what you
Bloodborne podcast.
None of it's...
Wait,
Now it's gotta be in.
You dump skill? You monsters.
You
Skill is the
monster.
best stat.
I would never dump skill. I was a skill-based character.
Skill and blood tinge was my last.
Note for Martyn when editing: remove the Bloodborne conversation.
Don't.
Don't.
Okay, but seriously, turn order.
Thanks for listening to Podhaven.